So you may have seen my other video, just an update on fixing the car after it broke down in Switzerland. I thought I'd do a total cost since I've had the car. I've had the car for four years. Right at the end of 2019 I bought it, so where are we? So three and a bit years. It's a bit of a painful video. If you know the car's values, I bought it for £7,500, which is kind of middle price. You can get them for 5,000 now for like a really ropey-ish one, and then 10,000 you'd be able to get a pretty immaculate one, maybe slightly lower miles than this. This is done 100,000 now. Yeah, just adding up the costs of what I've spent on the old girl and what I still need to spend. So the main big hit was the last one, obviously, as I covered in the other video. That was after it broke down in Switzerland. There was a repair cost to get that running with the spark plugs and ignition coil packs, and that was about £800 on its own. But then it was also getting it through the MOT, which all the rust and the labour involved in that, removing the brake lines, everything like that. So that ended up being £3,500, which is quite a big hit. But then before that, previous to that, I can't remember the date, but about a year ago roughly, it needed, well, preventative maintenance, which is what I was happy to do. Timing chain tensioners on these, they're made of plastic to save weight, and obviously, as everyone knows, plastic over time deteriorates. If the timing chain tensioners snap because they become brittle, then it puts the timing chain out and screws the whole engine, so then it's a no-go. I didn't want to risk that, so preventative maintenance wise, I think that was about £1,700 for that one job. But while it was in at the other garage I was going to, I had a water pump, that was £155, air conditioner condenser, that was £350, crankshaft position sensor £100, shock absorber bush done, ABS sensors done, and this is a big number, 5,700 for that. But that did include investing in the car into the future, which is how I justify it again with the timing chain tensioners, and they replaced the timing chains as well at that point. So yeah, pretty big bills. What else? That was money spent. So yeah, that means since I've had it, oh, and there's also a few other little ones. There's another £300 ABS sensor. I'm not sure if that's one sensor off each corner for the ABS. I don't know, because it doesn't say specifically, but also recently I had the ABS sensor going off, as you might have seen in my other videos, and it was checked and it was the passenger side front ABS sensor, so that was identified as being that one that's coming up throwing the fault. But this, for a previous work carried out, doesn't say which one it is. But anyway, washer pump as well, so that ended up, that's another 300. Oh, that was the big bill. Oh yeah, that was also the headlining as well. So if that 5,700 that about a year ago, got the headlining redone, which looks better, but they did a crap job of gluing it down. As you can probably see, a few bubble spots, and they left crap on the floor, and there's a handprint on it that my brother helped sort out very kindly. That's why I don't go to that garage anymore. Yeah, so anyway, it adds up to around 10,000. It's like 9,700, not including MOTs and all that kind of standard stuff that you have to do. So it's a lot of money. I could have bought another one for the amount of money I spent on it, but if you have another one, of course you're going to be spending money on it, because they're all around the same age. Some could be slightly better condition, some would be worse. So yeah, it's just part of it, unfortunately, owning an older car. I was saying to my dad last night, the only way around maintenance of a car is if you buy something that's maybe 60s or 70s, that doesn't have too much electrical stuff, replace everything on it, like new starter motor, just new alternator, everything on it. That's the only way you can almost, not 100%, but kind of guarantee hassle-free motoring for maybe a couple of years before something comes up. It's the only way. New cars, you get faults. Old cars, you get faults. So yeah, it just is what it is. And I'm, like I said, pretty happy to spend the money on this because I love it, and there's nothing else I'd rather have. I could have a BMW, like an M3 or something, as a daily, which would be comfortable, good for touring, handle better and everything. They don't look as good. They're not English. I'd rather have a Jaguar anyway. I would like to have a Beamer still as well, but I couldn't replace this with anything, I don't think, that I'd want more. Yeah, while I was going through the documents, I did find they'd spent a bit of money on before I bought it. Gasket set, spark plugs, breather pipe, stabilizer link, suspension, labour, left track rod end, inner tie rod. They spent £1,000 just before I bought it. And also I found in the documentation, because there's quite a fair wad of maintenance costs, I found in here ABS sensor, ABS module, ABS rings. That was another £915 in 2016. So it seems like ABS sensors and everything is going to be a continual issue with this car, but that's alright. My Beamer had flat tire monitoring systems, ABS issues with it as well. It's just part of having all these sensors, unfortunately. So yeah, bit of a large cost involved in maintaining these vehicles, unfortunately, and I can only imagine how bad a Bentley would be. Everyone goes on about Bentley's costs. If I've already spent 10,000 on this in 3 years, yeah, I've heard 10,000 on a Bentley in the first year of ownership, potentially, if you buy one that's a bit ropey. That's what kind of worst case scenario, but yeah, you've got to be prepared and willing to pay the money to keep them on the road, or you buy one and then you get a fault and then you bugger it off. But I want to keep the old girl. It's done me pretty good, really. The amount of enjoyment I've had with it. I've been to Scotland now. If you haven't seen that video, check that out. France and a bit of Switzerland. If you haven't seen that, check that out. And also Ireland, as you would have already seen. So yeah, it's just been an awesome car to drive around, really. Like, yes, it's been a bit stressful, but that's life. If you want to have these nice things, you've got to take the good with the bad, and this is an awesome car, and I love it still, and it looks so good. Every time I walk back to it, even at the shops yesterday, I've been with it for a week and a half, 2 weeks solid now, and still I come around the corner from the shops, and it's parked there against the wall. It just stands out. It looks stunning. I love it, honestly. I think it's really underappreciated how good these look. Oh, and also that leads me to decision time. Over the next year, I'm going to have to spend some more money again. I'm yet to get some quotes, but an external respray, rust on the rear bumpers. There's just a spot where the wheel arch, it catches, some rust there. I want to get it treated underneath properly to stop rust coming up. Yeah, so basically a respray. It's had patches done here and there. There's a few things I'd like to do with the bumpers. There are side reflectors. They're not a legal requirement. They're just put on, I think, for the American market, as often is the case, comes to ruin everyone's fun in the looks of these, and my dad's S-Type and everything. So whilst they're respraying, I would like to get the reflectors replaced. Also the front grille, there's those two plastic dividers. As far as I know, I haven't done any research, but as far as I know, they're just there as an extra bumper thing. There's no like sensors or anything, and it's not it's not structural to the bumper or anything like that. So I'd like to get them removed and then mesh all the way across, but not brought forward like on the Jaguar XKR S, because I think that looks terrible too. So I wanted just where they are, but the plastic removed if possible. And yeah, that's it cosmetically. I don't want to change anything else, just those couple of things. We'll tidy it up a lot. Down the line, if it needs new suspension, I will lower it a bit, but I don't want to sacrifice the comfort. So if it goes down an inch at the back, just because there's quite a big gap on these, that'd be about all I want to do with it, really. I've thought about exhaust and all that kind of thing, but I'm so happy with how it is. It's so subtle, and I can put my foot down and it's not, you know, annoying all the locals and that kind of thing. But also it has a little bit of a rumble. Plus I love the sound of the supercharger, so I don't want it to be any louder from the exhaust, because then it'll cover up the supercharger sound a bit. Supercharger pulley replacement or upgrade, I have thought about that, because that would make it whine a bit more, which would be cool. Yeah, while I'm spending all the money on just trying to get it to a good standard, I'm not really thinking about modifying. And also I always justify, I don't want to spend money modifying the car I've got, because that's going to take money out of my pocket from buying a better, more expensive car, like something more flash. Not as a replacement for this, but as well as this, like a sportier car. There's so many I want, so yeah, we'll see how everything goes with that. And yeah, look out for more videos, updates on costs and things, and follow my Instagram as well, because it's more likely I'll put out short videos on that sort of thing on there. You know, obviously there's a bit of a disparity between having enough content to make a video just talking about a few numbers, whereas chucking up a 10-second video on Instagram is a lot easier, and it's going to be better content because it's just straight to the point, whereas me rambling on for 8 or 10 minutes about nothing really, it could be pretty boring. Hope you enjoyed the video anyway. Thanks for watching, and look out for more content, and don't forget to subscribe, please.